Liban is using Numark headphones with the Yeti Blue mic. Is it Yeti Blue mic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm using a KSC 75. So all the heads will know what that is. You see my headphones, right? Look very fucked up, weird headphones.
I see them, but I'm not going to include any of this. This is nonsense.
I like that. No, please include this.
Really?
Yeah, because there's people out there who are obsessed with equipment and audio stuff, and they will be quite interested to hear.
What that I've got shitty headphones and you've got shitty headphones and
you have no you. It's not shitty headphones. My headphones are very good. Best brand here back on the market.
Really?
Yeah, they're
really? They look a bit rubbish.
Yeah, they're a design from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They're open backs, which always sounds better than closed back headphones. And they're very good. I've had some expensive headphones. I've tried these against them, and I think open back headphones are just generally better. And also, I forgot what I was going to say. There's a lot of people that are actually saying, I know you don't get it, but there's people out there. Whenever there's a musician, people obsess about what gear they're using.
I don't get that. I do not get that at all. Because anytime I see someone who's really good at something, whether it's music or whether it's art or a hobby or anything, if they're good, you don't attribute it to their equipment. Buying the same equipment is never going to make you as good as them. It's their self-expression that's fascinating you.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is a very bad habit to obsess about. This is actually a big thing I was thinking about for ages. I'm not going to go into it because I will fill up the whole podcast with it.
Let's get into it. We got nothing else.
No, we can't. This is a huge idea of mine, but there is a big thing about.
Can you just dip into it slightly then? Dip into it slightly.
Well, essentially, this isn't a million miles away from what you was talking about,
which is
the swing dancing. Which is
don't get me started on that. Do not get me started on that because I'll be going for hours.
To summarize what Liban was saying and also what I was saying, Liban was complaining about the swing dancing scene. He was saying there's all these tech bros into it.
A lot of tech bros, developers, IT dudes, just people who good work at Google, work at Facebook, Silicon Valley types.
And they have this very mechanical view of swing dancing. It's like a science that they reduce it to formulas, and instead of embracing the spontaneity and creativity of the swing dancing, right? That's you've summarized
half an hour of my ranting. Yeah, pretty much.
but because I totally get it, because this is exactly what it's a whole thing. If you go into any community, there are people who obsess with the tool over what it enables you to do, and very often I'm going to stop here because I will end up ranting for 3 hours about this. This is a huge
well, give me a little flavor, give me a little taste, let me see the preview.
It's essentially wherever you go now that we live in the age of Aquarius, you're seeing a major
and for
shift.
People who don't know, you're tossing that out there like everybody should know. This is a concept that you had to break out to me. The age of Aquarius is an age that we entered how long ago? Would you say about 10 years ago or 5 years ago?
I think we've been gradually entering it in different forms of it. I think throughout the end of the 20th century, certainly now with the invention of the internet, you could see gradations. We're exiting the age of Pisces and we're entering the age of Aquarius.
And what does the age of Aquarius mean?
Mate, you really want me to rant?
No, not at all. No. Because you're tossing out concepts that I'm obviously familiar with because I talk to you a lot, but people who listen to this won't know. So you just got to give us a little bit so that they know the context. The age of Aquarius is.
All right, but we just exited the age of Pisces. Pisces is defined. It's a very emotional period. It's the fish. Obviously, we've had 2,000 years of Christianity being dominant. It's suffering, it's joy, it's extreme cruelty, extreme beauty, it's imagination, it's very much spirituality. That's the age of Pisces. That's the age that we're leaving.
We just left that age. Yeah, that was the 2,000 years before.
Right, and we're now entering 2,000 years of age of Aquarius. We're kind of in it already, and Aquarius is about information, technology, formulae. It's about transhumanism. It's about science, rationality. It's an air science.
Hard logic. Yeah.
Hard logic. Yeah. And you see that everywhere now. And you've seen the death of creativity. You've seen the death of Piscean creativity, the death of Piscean religious spirituality. You've even seen the death of Piscean cruelty in a way. The world isn't as cruel as it was. But you see the rise of technology, of information being the fundamentally most important. It's a new religion. Well, I would say that on Pisces. But anyway.
They don't see it as a religion because they're not a Pisces.
Yeah. To them, it's just of course, information is the most important thing. Of course, information, of course, data. Do you have a source to back up that claim? That's an Aquarius talking. Do you have a source to back up that claim?
Okay.
You know? And you see evidence of it everywhere. What was I talking about?
We were talking about swing dancing and all these tech bros who come into swing dancing and basically take this wonderful organic format, and they just sort of break it down into piecemeal, and they take a lot of the fun out of it, and they dance in such a selfish way that it's awful to see. And
you literally linked a guy who was doing a spreadsheet of like mathematical equations of like, okay, so when you do this step, you can go into this step or that step, like he's following a chart.
It utterly baffled me that this guy was on the swing dancing forum, and he basically started a post saying, I want to do a spreadsheet or a Google app or something so that you can have a flow chart of moves that you can go from A to B and then from B to either C and D. And he's basically trying to break it down in such a logical, mechanical way that I genuinely was repulsed by it. I looked at it and I got goosebumps from how horrible it felt.
Well, let's put that guy aside, or maybe use him as what does swing dancing mean to you? What do you embrace about swing dance? What do you like? What about that repulsed you?
Because it completely misses the point. It completely misses the point of a partner dance. The way I approach it is a partner dance is a conversation between you and the person you're dancing with, and also the music itself. So there's two different things that you're interacting with there. And when you focus on yourself so much that you're focused on your own internal formulas that you're building up, you're completely disregarding the two main aspects of what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm completely with you. But you're going to have to deal with that for 2,000 years.
2,000 years of that, Jesus.
2,000 years of that. It's going to be extreme, man. It's going to be extreme.
Oh, you go. Ay.
All right. So, what do you have for us today, Liban?
I've got two things. So,
do you want to do your two things first? Because I know if I do my things, you're going to just dismiss them because you'll be anxious to get to yours.
I was talking about selfish dancers just now, and yes, you just pointed out I'm a selfish listener.
Are you a selfish dancer? How does that manifest in a swing dance?
I'm not a selfish dancer. I'm saying those tech bros that I was describing were selfish dancers.
It's a selfish dancer, a dancer for himself.
What is that?
No, but what do you mean? That's a private dancer, Tina Turner. But I adjusted the lyrics.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Instead of dancing for money, he dances for himself.
Oh, very clever. No, I don't know that one. How does that
manifest in swing dancing?
What, in swing dancing? A selfish dancer in swing dancing is basically someone who completely disregards their partner. They're not really paying attention to what their partner's doing. Rather than flowing smoothly and going from one thing into the next or one idea into the next one, they're sort of going herky-jerky and stopping and starting because they're not thinking about the partnership. They're thinking about themselves, and they're thinking about what they want to do next.
So, but you're the male, so you're the lead. So isn't that onus on you to kind of take the dance?
Let's separate two things there. First of all, women can lead as well. You do get women who lead and men who follow, because
a modern progressive thing.
It is a modern progressive thing, but it's also it's a fun thing as well, though, because I do both. I lead and follow, so you can swing which way you want. It is one way I'd put it. What was the actual thing though? Yeah, so when you're leading, it's basically, it's not all up to you because you're both fundamentally dancing. So you can make a suggestion and the other person, the follow, can follow that suggestion, or they can subvert it or reinterpret it. So it is a thing of going back and forth. It's not like the lead has 100% command of the dance and they're saying, we're going to do this and this and this. It's, how about we do this? And then they say, well, I like that, but let's switch it up and do it sideways like this.
Right, even in the traditional...
Yeah, even in the traditional gender roles, yeah.
Women have a...
Of course,
guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should do more swing dancing metaphors. You know, I said the other day we should do more football now. You should bring everything back to swing dance.
Just everything comes back to dancing. Yeah, so I'm a selfish listener, is what you're saying, that we've got to do my segments first, because if we did your ones, I wouldn't be paying attention. I'd just be waiting for my turn to come around.
Well, I don't know. Maybe my segments are quite weak. I did want to say something more about myself, but I don't know if that'll end up being a discussion or just something we cut out of the podcast.
It'll definitely end up being a discussion because I find you endlessly fascinating. So let's get my two little shitty segments out of the way, and then we'll move on to the meat of the what you've got to bring, because that's always great.
I don't really have much to bring, but there was. Did you? All right, whatever. Forget that. We'll yeah, go on. Let's do your segments. This is the
BBC Home Service.
Okay, so the first one is back in episode 1. We were talking about the act of creation,
yes,
and doing things live in person so that people could hear it and see how creative ideas, whether they be good or bad, can be, developed and expanded upon, and then either released out into the world or relegated to a dustbin, never to be discussed again. So, no, go ahead.
Well, this is actually one of the things that I was going to say. I feel like I know what you're going to say. I think you told me actually earlier. But I was going to say, because when we did the podcast, we put the podcast on Podbean, you chose to do seasons, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, if you do seasons, there's some sort of arc then, isn't there? It's not just like you get together every week and you ramble. And so I was thinking, actually, because we was talking about trying to do music online as well, right? I was thinking, how about every season we have a different project and we try to create something so that at the end of the season, we have something. So it might be like enough sketches for a sketch show, or enough songs for an album, or one episode of a sitcom, pilot episode of a sitcom. Or
I love it. We've got something tangible at the end of each season.
Yes. So you could say, all right, the end of season 1 we've done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. I like it. Put it down.
So what would be season 1?
Well,
did you finish off your idea?
Well, no, I've got my idea here, and we'll talk about it today. But it doesn't necessarily have to be this idea. We can the season can part of the season can be the development of something to figure out what we actually want to do. So we can have a couple of episodes coming with different ideas, and then we pick one and then work on that.
Yeah. Okay, well, go on. What's your idea? Let's hear your idea then.
Okay, here's the scene. Let me set the scene. Today I'm pitching to you a TV show.
All right.
And I need you, this isn't just a one-way thing where I'm going to say something. I need you to actively contribute as we're talking and help me fill out the details and help me make it something that you care about.
Right. I'm the head of the Batman franchise.
You're the head of the Batman franchise. You need to be giving me notes and then helping me.
I'm not going to be giving notes. I'm going to be rejecting your idea immediately. Because that's what the head of the Batman franchise does. All right. Let's hear your idea then.
All right.
Let's hear your big shot. You got 2 minutes. Go.
All right. Could you get Louise to get me a cup of tea first?
No. Louise is busy, I'm afraid. 2 minutes. Counting down. No. 1 minute 50 seconds. Come on, let's go.
All right. So here's the thing. I'm thinking it's going to be like a prestige drama series, one of those 10-episode big budget drama series.
What does prestige drama series mean?
Those big HBO shows.
Like Goodfellas, Sopranos.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
right.
That's the format.
Serious.
1 hour serious drama.
Right.
You've got yourself a 32-year-old woman, right? Let's start off with that. You got yourself a 32-year-old woman as the main character.
Can we make her 23?
Nah.
Sexier.
Nah. Nah, she's gonna, because she needs experience, is one of the things I'm gonna be making the point of. She's a high achiever, an overachiever. She's literally been overachieving since her first day of primary school, into college, into university, out into the workforce. She's been jumping from startup company to startup company for the last 10 years, and each time, I don't think it really matters. Let's say she's like a financial whiz kid, a financial genius. She knows exactly how to pitch things to people, whatever. She's been getting fancier job titles every time she goes to a different startup. She's now 32. She's got a hell of a CV. She has been headhunted by this massive conglomerate.
Right.
Help me pick a name. Just pick a name so I've got something to refer to.
Well, I don't know what this conglomerate does.
They do everything. They've got their fingers in every pie. They're in industry. They're in medical technology. They're in cars. They're in chips.
Give them a Japanese name then. The Japanese companies, they do everything. Like Yamaha, they make keyboards and motorbikes.
Yeah. Okay. What's let's say Yoshimoto Industries. Okay. She gets recruited by Yoshimoto Industries. And she gets quite a high up role. Like, she's been given the title of something like Vice President of European Operations, something big, right? And she comes in, and it's her first day. She's being shown around by the President of European Operations, or what have you. She's going around each floor. She's being introduced to people. As they go into the lift, though, there's the 17th floor, which is the top floor, and the button is blacked out. She can't actually press it. And then she asks about it, and the guy says, no, you're not allowed up there yet. And then they continue with their stuff, and then she gets shown to her office. She sits down, they do a little chit chat, and then a woman comes in and she says, I'm here for the blood sample. And she's like, what do you mean blood sample? What do you need my blood sample for? And then the woman with the kit just says, oh, it's standard. Don't worry about it. It's all standard. And then, she's confused, but she gives it up. And then she goes away. And then we follow her over the first sort of couple of days, and she starts to realize there's something very strange about this corporation. Now, what I'm leading towards is that I want to do a corporation/occult thriller, where there's a combination of this massive worldwide company, but also on the upper echelons of this company, you've got some weird occult conspiracy going on, where maybe, there's lizard people, fish people, squid people, I don't know, something weird is going on at the top, and this woman's getting dragged into it. Here's the twist. At the end of the first episode, we go back to her flat, and, as we've been watching this, we think she's a naive, individual who's been pulled into something that's out of her depth. But we actually go back to her flat, and then she's got crazy paranoia boards on the board where she's got like pictures of all the head honchos of this company, and then one picture of a fish person or a lizard person or something. So she actually knows. She's gone into this situation knowing what's going on, and she's got her own agenda.
Right.
That's the pilot.
But I mean, okay, that's a good setup for one finale of the show. How are you going to sustain that over 20 episodes?
You tell me. You help me develop this idea. I know is I want to explore the corporate thriller world, but also for it to have an occult side to it.
Yeah, but you've done the J.J. Abrams school of writing a TV show.
Exactly. Help me fill this out.
Well, I'm not sure that's a good thing, because you end up you end up writing a TV show from the audience's perspective, which is like, wouldn't it be cool if the audience see this? Wouldn't it be cool if the audience see this? Wouldn't they be hooked in? But in the back end, which is, what is the occult conspiracy? How is this woman interested? How did she get interested? That's the actual engine of the show. Let's
figure out the engine, Johnny. What do you think we're doing here? This is the act of creation. Do you want me to come to you with a finished car?
No, but you start with the engine. You don't just design a body chassis and then like, all right, it's going to look really, really fast, right? And then we'll just stick a fast engine in there. You got to design the fast engine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
And actually, I think that This is the reason every single TV show ends in an unsatisfying way.
It's because it's been designed ass backwards.
Because every TV show just hooks you. Every TV show, even like Breaking Bad, which was a much lauded TV show. Do you remember the ending of Breaking Bad?
Vaguely.
Shall I tell you what I remember of the ending of Breaking Bad?
Go on.
He constructs a weird machine gun contraption that's like from the A-Team to pop out of a car boat
and kill a bunch of Nazis. Yeah, I remember that.
How ridiculous is that?
Listen,
how ridiculous is that?
Forget about Breaking Bad. We're not here to break down Breaking Bad. I need you to help me with my TV show.
All right, we need to get into the engine then.
All right, let's get into the engine.
What is the occult conspiracy?
There's these. Okay, let's say squid people. You know squid people?
Squid people, is that a conspiracy? I've never heard of that.
No, you know, like the one who sleeps, like squid people. The
one who sleeps. What's that?
Cthulhu, all that shit.
Oh, Cthulhu, yeah, Lovecraftian stuff.
Yeah, Lovecraftian stuff. But instead of having a massive like squid god, let's say you've got little squid people with the bodies of humans and the heads of squids.
Interdimensional beings.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's their intent? What's their motivation? Why did they start a company? See, this has to be interesting. It can't just be like, oh.
What's their purpose? Let's talk about their purpose. They need something from this world. They feed on something from this world.
Now we're thinking.
They feed on something. Is it energy? Is it emotion? Is it?
How about this? There's interdimensional beings who are afraid of humanity in a sense.
Okay.
Because of something they're afraid of within the human spirit, they aim to entrap all of humanity in a bureaucratic system. Now
we're fucking talking.
They want to turn every human into this is my grand conspiracy about the world. Jesus, it's my life story. This is
part of the this is part of the creative process. Is you end up bringing so much more of yourself into it than you realize as you're talking.
I don't want to put too much of myself in this.
All right, but I like the idea of this. Interdimensional species who are probably ahead of us in technology and society by a couple of thousand years.
Yeah,
and at some point in our history, they saw something in us that they didn't like, and they were like, "We've got to watch out for these people because there's a nexus of some point, a crossing at some point where we can end up affecting them."
Yeah, that's a bit done before. I think that's a bit unoriginal, and also I think that is also. I don't like when they give human motivations to alien beings. Alien beings fundamentally should be so alien that it's not that you can't comprehend, but it doesn't make sense to you, you know? This is the sort of thing I'd have to think about for days. I don't think we could hash it out quickly. What do you like about squid people? What is it you like? Is it just how they look?
I like the visual imagery of it. I like that it's very like off-putting.
Here's something better than that. What did you say? Humans with squid for heads?
Yeah.
No, how about this? There's quite literally a squid in a jar, in a like an aquarium, square aquarium, controlling the whole company. And then it has like weird human kind of semi-human looking beings that can communicate with it and can then pass on its message. So it's literally a squid.
But I think that's pretty standard. I think that's pretty
it's better than the squid people, because the squid people is too humanoid. That's another thing I don't like about sci-fi.
But this is the exact thing that I want. Is I want to include, I don't want them to be mystical. I want to literally include them in the corporate structure. I want a chief of operations who's actually a lizard person, but actually does paperwork and does like the sort of quarterly calls with the market watch and does the,
like comedic.
No, but like fully serious. We do it straight. There's no comedy here.
But he has a squid for a head.
Yes.
But then how is he doing quarterly calls and stuff if he has a squid for a head?
When they do those calls, they do it over the phone, don't they?
You have to see the boss if he's the boss of it.
Well, they've got human patsies. Let's say they've got human patsies in
That's
that
the
case.
point. That's what I was saying. It's a squid in an aquarium, and then there are a bunch of humans. They ain't even really human. They're literally just mind controlled by the squid in the aquarium.
Interesting.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It could be very creepy. You could do weird glitchy things. You could have your little J.J. Abrams moments. Like, this happened at the end of the episode.
But I don't want the creepy things. I'd rather have the human collaborators.
What's the vibe you want to go for this show?
I want the vibe that, it looks mystical at first, but there's nothing mystical going on. It's a straight up like they've already taken over. The people in charge have already sold out and they're already in on it, and we just don't know.
But that's not a very big reveal at the end of the show, though, is it?
It's not a reveal. It's just the thing that keeps happening and becomes more and more apparent.
I've lost you.
Okay.
Are we talking over the span? Are we talking over this? Okay, so over one series, where would you get to? Where would the ending be? What would the ending leave the audience understanding?
The ending has to be, the end of the first series has to be revealing to the world the aliens who are in charge of this corporation, and then the subsequent series are the fallout of that. So the first series is this main character woman who's entering this place, looking to expose what's going on in here. And then the end of the first series is the big sort of leak, the video that leaks, or the press conference, or whatever way you want to do it. But there's a big explosion at the end where it's like the whole world sees, like the facade has been revealed.
The whole world understands.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And then obviously you've got the fallout of, obviously some people believe it, some people dismiss it, some people are like, oh my God, this is brilliant, this is what we've needed all along, and they become like massive squid supporters, whatever. You can picture that yourself. But the end of the first series is the revelation to the world.
That's a bit too typical though. It should be the real, I think the real energy of the whole show. I think the real energy, sorry, Maya's just messaging. I think the real energy of the whole show will come about once you come up with a motivation for the aliens and a reason for why they did what they did via a corporation. That is the crystal at the heart of the show, the beating heart of the show.
Is why are they doing this? Why are they doing this?
Why are they doing this? And if that's a good reason, not only does that give you a great ending point for the first series, it gives you an engine to come up with all this other stuff. If it's not a good reason, it just gives you a pathetic kind of half interesting reveal at the end of it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about, the J.J. Abrams style, and I never like it because it always ends up with unsatisfying shows where every TV show ends unsatisfying. But if you come up with the engine first, that beating heart, beneath all of the layers that you're going to reveal and dance around as you're telling it, if you come up with a really good thing at the heart, then you don't even have to hold it back in a way, although you can hold it back, but you can also use it to inspire all this new energy. Do you understand what I'm saying? All these new, you understand what I'm saying about?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear. So you don't think that we can come up with that reason today? You think you need to sit on that?
I think you maybe could. Let's go. You know what it is. Maybe it'll come into your head immediately, just jumps into your head and it's brilliant.
Well, I do like the idea of lulling humanity into docility.
I think there's been a bit.
Is that too obvious? Is that been done?
Yeah, I think it's a bit too done. I mean, look, it's been 15 years since the iPhone. Everyone knows that technology forces want to bring humanity to docility. I think there's maybe, if there's an interesting twist there, you can really you could really, you know.
How about, we were talking about the age of Pisces.
Yeah.
The age of Pisces, what was it? It was spiritual, it was emotional, it was all of that, right?
Yeah.
So in the age of Pisces, that all of that spirituality and emotion, that it releases energy on a wavelength that
I'm into it. Yes.
that releases an energy that goes into a wavelength that seeps into their dimension, which is pollution for them.
Mate.
It's pure pollution. So they come to us, and then they're like, we need to get, like, they came in the 1800s. They started the Industrial Revolution because they were like, we need to get them into this bureaucratic system and this sort of logical way of thinking, so we can dampen their emotions and spirituality, dampen the pollution coming into our universe without having to commit genocide.
Yes, and instead they make products and stuff, and people will fixate on the logos and the products, and they're like tulpas. It's like ritualistic, and because people are like focusing of the Yoshimoto logo so much, they actually feed off that in the energy of the alternative dimension. Do you understand what I'm saying, Liban?
But then doesn't that...
But it's mystical, it's almost theological, Liban.
But then that's still spiritual energy that, like, isn't that the same stuff that was...
energy.
But that was polluting them before. Like, the whole thing I was saying is the reason why they came to our dimension is because we were polluting them, and they were trying to stop us from polluting them.
But now they're just getting to focus your spirituality into their own.
And has it become like a drug for them? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they feed off energy. They're like vampires, but they feed off people.
So they came to us to dampen our energies, but we've accidentally subverted them into becoming drug addicts because they've ended up actually really liking the Yoshimoto energy that we've been sending them.
Well, but let's say this way. Let's say like the Apple logo, right? The Apple logo actually means something in an alternate dimension. It's actually like, the Apple logo is actually how the aliens look or something in an alternate dimension.
Gotcha.
And so they put it into a logo, and they put it in a billion products that people adore and worship, because all these people fixating on the logo and having all these feelings around the logo, they get this incredible energy. Is that too esoteric and too sort of mystical for a TV show?
No, it's not too esoteric. If anything, it's a bit on the nose.
You think it's too on the nose? How is it on the nose?
I think it's too on the nose because then you're following down this track that's very well trod about people's sort of love of commercialism.
But it's almost like they're a new religion. They came to Earth, they destroyed religion, they made their own new religion. But it's not actually a religion like the old ways. It's religion in the new way,
in the age of Aquarius way.
You worship in where you worship information stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we need to figure that out.
It's too esoteric, isn't it? It's too subtle for your average television show viewer.
I think it's too subtle for me. I think I'm joking. No, I completely I get what you're saying.
It's too on the nose for you.
I think it's too on the nose for me. I think it becomes too obvious at that point. I think I like the idea, just the first half of it, of them coming to stop our pollution. That's the start of it. But then from that, whether they get corrupted and we corrupt them with our spirituality, I don't want this. I don't like the idea that they already have a symbol or they already have something which we're feeding energy into, if you see what I mean.
You don't like that idea?
Yeah, I'd rather they were like these pure logical beings and we corrupted them, and then they've sort of we've corrupted them and brought them halfway down to our level. So maybe that's why some of them are getting a benefit from the Yoshimoto thing, and the Yoshimoto logo and the Yoshimoto ideology and all of that. But then that may lead to, factionalism on their part, on the ones who think that, we've gone down too far. This is not working. We need to abort them and genocide humanity. And then the ones that have become corrupted are like, no. This is working. We need to keep going with this.
I like the idea that we've corrupted them and they're trapped now.
Because we're humanity. Like, you can try to fuck with us, but we're still gonna, our oil stains are gonna go in deep in your soul, isn't it?
I don't know about that.
Come
I don't
on.
have much faith in humanity these days.
Come on. But that's the opposite of faith in humanity. That's in our dirt and our filth.
Yeah,
You
and their
can't
ability to
get rid of it.
corrupt.
Yeah. Anything good and pure or whatever, we will get our hands on. And
it's maybe too spiritual. How are you going to come out? This is maybe too. Yeah, maybe there's too. I don't know. There's too fine and subtle a point. How would you manifest that in more concrete? You know.
Well, I don't want this to be a sci-fi thing where you've got a machine that literally converts energy into blah blah blah. That this isn't a sci-fi thing. This is a corporate occult
It's basically
thriller.
X-Files. It's basically like X-Files.
Well, X-Files was like they were always looking for a specific explanation, weren't they?
Yeah, but they often didn't come up with an explanation. It would just be like weird phenomena, you know, and weird phenomena could sometimes just exist. I do like, what if something about the squid people or whatever the fuck they are manifests in all these weird, aberrant, maybe things, and then you could have like Monster of the Week episodes like X-Files.
Hate it.
Sometimes. You know how X-Files used to sometimes...
Yeah, I know. They go to some random town in the middle of the Midwest.
That's good.
And
You get a lot, as a writer, you get a lot of license then to
I just
go
want
nuts with particular episodes.
I just want one through line. I don't want a big, expanding, grandiose story. I just want one tight through line, like a race from beginning to end that just feels like breakneck.
TV shows don't have races, though, to beginning and end.
Yeah, some of them do. Some of them have got crazy paces.
Yeah, but they're never tight. They just go, okay, let's have a hook at the end of this episode. Here's a clown stroking a monkey. Oh, tune in next week. All right, let's have a hook at the end of this. It's like Lost. Everything is just lost now. Oh, look, there's a purple leaf on a tree. What does this mean? Tune in next week. All right, you're in next week. Oh, look. Someone else just started speaking a random different language. What does that mean? Okay, tune in next week. It's just that shit for like 17 seasons. That's how all TV shows are. I don't think there's... Name one that's like a tight, actually well constructed, you know, start to finish.
Let me think.
There is none. There is none.
Listen, you're crowding me here. Take a step back and let me think.
Right,
you can't just take a step back, bro. I'm going to have to come back to you on that one. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are.
But, you know, it's fine for us to do a tight 10 episodes of one-off TV show, really.
Yeah. So what do you think? Does this have legs? Have I given you enough for this to be...
It's not enough. I don't know if it has legs. It's not even enough for me to tell if it has legs yet.
What do you need to hear? What do you need to hear, Johnny? What's missing?
I told you I want the engine at the heart. What's actually the reason behind everything? You know?
Okay, I'll work on this. I'll come back. You know what? I'm not going to edit this until we've got the engine, and then I'll include it in an episode.
So let's say, what is it about this that you like? Is it the combination of a corporation and the occult that you like?
Yes, absolutely. Because corporations are these very sterile environments. They've got procedures. They've got ways of operating. They've got divisions. It's all very like regimented, and it's hard to be creative or to do interesting things without the corporate structure. Within the corporate structure, what they're good for is long-term stability, getting profits, focusing on your margins, all that sort of clinical thinking. The occult is this world of chaos, of like meaning that is vague and mystical, and I just like to see where the two cross over and how it affects it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm about to send Liban something. Listeners, if you wish to participate at home, just Google. Oh fuck! I can't send it to. Okay, I'll send it on the Telegram. If you wish to participate at home, I want you to Google Masonic symbols in corporate logos. Can you see this on Telegram while I'm showing you, Liban?
Hold on, let me open it up. Yes, I can see it.
All right, so this is actually quite a, typical conspiracy thing where, many people do believe that many of these symbols, many of these like there's a better one than this I've seen as well. But you see the Gmail logo is actually the Masonic Royal Arch Apron logo. The Google Chrome logo is like it's all like
yeah, I see what you're saying.
So this is actually quite common, like sort of conspiracy idea that these companies are steeped in occult symbolism, but that's usually Masonic or whatever. But you know,
yeah, let's go. Well, that's what I'm attracted by. That's what makes me like this idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think it could work. I think we would have to do work on the other end. But you see, I like the idea. You could have this kind of somewhat occult practice. If you developed your own like occult practice, you could do loads of things with that. Because then you'd have like some things in the corporation are like bizarre, you know, like they want you to hop 3 times when you get into the building, and then you realize, oh, that's actually an occult practice. Something, you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Well, that's what I was hinting towards when the woman had to give up the blood sample. It's literally little things like that, which you wouldn't do at another company, but you do at this one, and you just brush it off as some weird quirk that this place has, but it's fundamentally related to their occult rituals.
Yeah. Is it occult or is it alien? See, this is the stuff.
It's not a cult, it's occult.
Occult or alien, because occult means hidden, secretive. It's attached to like magic.
But that's the thing, is that if this is kind of, it's that thing where advanced science is magical and advanced magic is science. It's where it crosses over into these interdimensional beings who some people refer to in a supernatural way and other people would look at it in a scientific framework. It's not quite clear.
How about the companies run by people who are deeply into occult symbolism and are performing kind of strange rituals via the company,
so that they have great quarterly profits?
So no, for bigger ends or something.
Talk me through it. Talk me through it. What do you mean?
Well, like, I mean, to perform to occult rituals, I think mainly one of the basics of magic is to kind of focus a lot of human energy and focus onto certain objects, onto certain symbols, to charge them via certain things. And what if you used your company to channel human energies and stuff like that? Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Yeah, I do.
So, for instance, if you took blood samples of everyone in the company, right? That's their blood that has some sort of connection, and certainly in the occult realm, you have some kind of blood connection. I mean, it's quite literally like witchcraft.
Yeah, it's a sympathetic connection between the source and the target. Yeah,
right. And you could use that blood connection to do something, maybe to. I don't know. Listen, I think we should think about it more. I don't think we're going to figure out.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
We'll think about it. We'll come back next week.
We'll leave it there today.